Zoom versus prime. What's the difference? Well, I'm going to go into that right now. So, what's the difference between a zoom versus a prime? A zoom lens simply means that you can zoom it in. That's all it is. So, this lens right here is a 24 to 70 millimeter f2.8, right? So I can zoom this lens from 24 millimeters to 70 millimeters. That's all a zoom lens is. You can zoom it in and out. Now, what's the difference between that and a prime millimeter or prime lens? A prime lens cannot be zoomed in. It's set at whatever it is. So this is a 50 millimeter prime lens. That means that it can only be 50 millimeters. So this lens can zoom, this one can't. Now, in most cases, there's a trade-off. So with the non-zoom lens, in my experience, you tend to get a sharper image, a better image in my experience. So I like using prime lenses because I tend to get better images out of the prime versus the zoom lens. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily scientifically proven. It's just been my experience. It could just be the way I shoot. Who knows? But one of the really big benefits that I've seen is that you get a shallower depth of field and you get a wider aperture, right? So this lens right here is actually a 1.4 aperture, which is wide open. So you're going to get really, really shallow depth of field. This one right here is 2.8. So you're going to get, so I can get way more light with this than I can with this. So that's a huge trade-off right there. So just remember that. When you hear prime lens, just know that all that means is that it can't zoom. It's set at a standard focal length, like 50 millimeters. When you hear zoom, like 24 to 70, that means that it's just a zoom lens. 24 to 70 means zoom, 50 millimeter set is a prime lens.